watch anything, but like I don't want to watch the Lord of the Rings. I don't watch Game of Thrones either. I'm mad at them all.
Yeah, I know they're not going to do it. I mean, Lord of the Rings. I don't want to watch a show where it's just those writers making stuff up, like, and it has no ties to the Silmarillion, no ties to the world.
Sure, am not watching a show where writers make things up. That sounds terrible.
Am not gonna. You're right. I'm not gonna write. I would want them to write it from the source material, like from the Silmarillion, like putting those words on into the story.
Kills me every time. Taylor's like, they didn't buy the rights to the Silmarillion. I've never heard of.
They didn't. It's very important. It's very important for backfilling all of
next
the
thing
lore
you know, the guy's gonna have one horn instead of two, and it's just not loyal to the source material.
The Silmarillion.
These things don't matter at all.
It does. It does matter for a cohesive universe.
Just so you know, the Silmarillion reads like a phone book. Okay, it's like that part in the Bible where it's like, and then Shep begat Mep, who begat Tep, who begat Rep, who begat. You're like, holy fucking shit, dude! How high were you during this? Like,
dude, the Silmarillion,
opium or anything when he wrote that shit?
The Silmarillion is sincerely not a good read because it is a bibliography, guy obsessed with the world he's created, being like, and here's another thing about the history of the elves, this and that, and this happened, and this guy did this, which helped trigger this in the third age, and like it's and also, and this happened with the dwarves, and this happened with the history as well, and it's just him like building out the history and like how all the lore ties together.
What he wants, what he wants is something taken from the mind of Tolkien, right? Yeah. Like, and what he doesn't want is for someone to be like, oh, I've seen Lord of the Rings before. Let me tell you my story. Because that's what's happening with Star Wars right now. It's kind of...
Thank you. So true.
They're doing their own thing. And look, I've never liked Star Wars. I don't understand why Taylor has this thing. I believe that, like, and it's not that something I believe, it's just true. There's two coins to this fun... there's sci-fi and there's fantasy. They're two sides of the same coin, right? And you seem to not give a shit about the sci-fi fantasy stuff and to love the fantasy stuff. But the way I look at those two things, I don't look at it as two sides of a coin. I almost look at it as like a spectrum of light that wraps around, right? Because if you go enough sci-fi, it becomes fantasy, and you can take fantasy enough that it becomes sci-fi. Because if you go deeply enough, then your sci-fi it gets explained by fantasy elements, and your fantasy elements start getting explained by sci-fi elements, and that's when both genres get so much better. When you start seeing what. Yeah,
Kyle's talents are wasted on this show.
I know.
And I'm not sure you could work your way to the top in Hollywood. You need to start on top. You're a high-level ideas guy. I feel like high-level ideas guys typically, wrote scripts and worked their way up. We need to skip that for you.
I try not to have a big head about anything because then you become a real piece of shit and hard to be around. But I have thought about writing something before. Not that I have any idea how to structure it correctly, but I'd like to put down some of the ideas that I've had before because I think occasionally I do.
We're about to get the script for bum fights.
So Roscoe comes in, jetpack on his back, eyes glowing red.